YouTube family, this is Yaky coming at you. I wanted to come at you guys today with a new product that I am so happy that they came out with. It is actually called Milky Way Q. It's an invisible part weave closure. They actually have different brands, but I got the Q brand. This Q brand is the one. It's actually human hair and synthetic hair mix. It's a premium blend mix. The way that it looks, again, it's going to be a top closure when you're doing sew-ins, because you know sometimes when you're doing sew-ins, it's really hard to be able to do the invisible part for some people. It's easy for me, but it takes a lot less time to use the invisible part. I'm going to supply you with pictures of a client here that I've done with the invisible part using the top closure. I wanted to show you guys the braid pattern that I've done on my mannequin Kayana. Basically what I did was I did the back horizontal. I did a circle pattern going in the back because I didn't want to have them big bulky braids. I hate when you have a bunch of bulky braids in the back. So I did the actual this part right here. I did it in a circle. And what I did was I parted this and I just kind of did the braids going like this, and then it just all connected together. And again, I had made sure that I left a part. You always want to make sure you leave a part because I'm going to be doing an invisible part closure. You can be able to, this is how the invisible part closure look. It looks like a little V, a little bit, and it has a part. It looks like the part. And the good thing about this is it takes so much less time doing this versus trying to do, you know, the tracks like on top of each other. You know how you do a regular invisible part, putting tracks on top of each other, on top of each other. This takes so much less time. You can either glue it, which to me, I love to glue it because it takes so much less time. But you do have clients that don't want glue in their hair, which is nothing wrong with glue. As long as you make sure that you remove it properly, use the right products, it removes just like a sticker. I mean, it comes off easy, quick. I have a lot of videos to show you that, and I will provide that video too. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to be able to sew in your invisible part closure. What you want to do first is you always want to make sure that you have the closure where you want to be able to sew it at. What I advise is just putting some, you can put some little clips just to be on the safe side to make sure that you have the invisible part closure where you want it to be. You can be able to put it on the side, you can put it in the middle, it's all up, it's all depends on where your client want their part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this together and I'm going to come back at you and I'm going to show you how to be able to sew on your invisible part closure. Okay, what you want to do first is you want to always make sure that you have a weaving thread. You can get this at any beauty supply store, as well as the closure you can get at any beauty supply store, or you can also purchase it online. But like I told you, if you paid attention to my other video, I am using the Princess Platinum pre-threaded needles. I will provide you with the information for the company that sells these also, so you don't even have to thread up your own needles. It already come threaded. And it's really easy, and it makes doing these closures or any sewing that you do a lot easier. So we're just going to basically pretend that I already laid all the tracks. What I would do is I would lay all the tracks until I get about right here. I don't have any tracks, so I didn't try, put any weave there. But what you would do the tracks until up about I'm gonna say up to this area right here. And then what you want to do is you want to start your closer piece. You can always add on tracks if you have to, but I will at least have the tracks on and then go ahead and do your invisible part closure. What I would do again, you want to put it where you want the actual closure to be. You can use your duckbill clips just to make sure that you have it in the area that you want it to be, because you don't want to make a mistake and sew it in the area you don't want it. So I always like to put my duckbill clips like just kind of like in the braid, on the client's hair, so it won't move and it can stay steady. And again, you want to make sure that you pay attention to where the actual part is. And what I like to do is I like to go ahead and start from the front, because you want to make sure that you got these tied down already. And if you see, there's a little piece right there, they already have like some little netting, so you can be able to attach it to the netting. You just take your thread, put it up under there, and just sew it on. And like I said, I like to start at the front just to make sure that I'm sewing it on correctly. And you always want to use whatever color the person's hair is, you want to use that color thread. And the good thing about this is it has the netted. Most of them already have that anyway. They already have the netted part, so you can be able to sew it down. And just make sure you're keeping the hair out of this, out of your way. And again, like I said, make sure you're working with duckbill clips, and you're just sewing on the closure piece. I like to, again, like I said, I like to start in the front first. And you'll see where the netted part is. That's what you sew it on. You can also glue this on. To me, gluing looks a lot natural, as well as sewing it on. However you decide to do it is up to you, but when you glue it on, it takes a lot less time. So just kind of lift up the tracks a little bit just to get the hair out the way. And again, like I said, you do have the little threading right there. Hopefully you can see that. You have a little net, so you just take it and just thread it right on top of your braids. See, it's already looking good just by doing that little bit. And what you're going to do is just keep on braiding it, attach it to your braids. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this part sewed on, and I'll come back at you once it's time for me to sew on the other side. Okay? And again, I'm using duckbill clips to keep the hair out the way, because you don't want to be sewing on hair. You want to make sure that you're sewing on this net that's here. And unfortunately, the camera won't pick it up, but you'll see there's a net. It's black, and you can just be able to just follow it around until it's completely done on your top closure. Just move your little duckbill clips around as you go. And what I like to do is once I get this back done, I like to go ahead and start on the other side, because sometimes the closure move. And once the closure move, you don't want it to move out of the spot that it's supposed to be in. So once I get this little piece right here done, I'm going to go ahead and start on the other side. And then I'll just go back and sew what I didn't sew once I get the other part done. So let me go ahead and get this, the other thread. Like I said, I have pre-threaded needles from the company. I'm going to go ahead and get that pre-threaded needle, and then I'm going to start on the other side. But you just continue to thread up the back, making sure it's sewed down real good, and then you complete the other side just to make sure that it's laying correctly, because you don't want to get it all sewed in and you find out that it's not laying correctly. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to complete the other side. And again, like I said, make sure you have some duckbill clips to keep the hair out the way. You do not want to sew the hair. You're sewing the closure on. So what you're going to do, you're going to take that little piece. And again, like I said, there's a little mesh that you're sewing. You probably can't see it, probably due to the video, but you're just going to take that little mesh. You're going to hold it down and just sew this part on. And when you threading up the thread, make sure that you don't have a real big knot at the end, because you don't want any of the thread showing. Just hold it down and just sew the mesh. And it is super simple. And I'm telling you, you are going to really love this invisible part closure versus trying to do each track by track. It takes so much less time. Anytime my clients calling me and telling me that they want an invisible part, I just automatically just tell them just go ahead and purchase the closure now instead of me doing the closure, because it takes a lot less time, and then they don't have to sit there and wait on me to do track by track. And again, what I'm going to do is just keep on continuing to do the same thing I did on the other side, just sewing the mesh down. And using my duckbill clips to move the hair over so I can be able to see the mesh. And what you can do now, like once you do get the closure on, you can be able to see where you need to add tracks at, and you just go ahead and just add the tracks around the closure. And like I said, don't wait until you get all the tracks on to do the closure. You want to do the closure once you get to about here with your tracks, because you want to make sure that you putting the closure on properly. Okay, and the closure is almost tied down. And if you want to, for added security, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, it's just up to you, you can be able to pull the hair over, and you'll see you pull the hair over and you'll see this mesh right here. You can also sew that too, just to make sure that the closure don't move, which is not going to move anyway, but it's always good just for added security, because you know some clients you know, do extra things with their hair. So just to have added security, just pull over the pieces of hair once you get the main net sewed, and you can just basically just go in there and just sew up that area right there. And then you can do it on the other side as well. You just pull it over and then you're able to see the track. And that's pretty much it. And then you have yourself an invisible part closure. And again, like I said, it's pretty. You don't have to worry about taking so much time and trying to blend hair. So the next time you get a sew-in or you do your client's hair, make sure you tell them about the invisible part closure. You can also buy, I think Remy Saga has one, and that's 100% human hair. You can be able to do that, but this synthetic blend, you can also use this with a flat iron, curling iron, whatever. So it's up to you and what type of price your client can afford. So I paid, I think it was $12.99 for this. And again, what I would do is just keep on continuing to get all this sewed down, and you'll be done. If you have any questions, please let me know. And again, like I said, you can purchase this at your local beauty supply store, or you also can purchase it on Amazon.com. If you haven't, if you will please comment, rate, and subscribe. And I want to thank you for all my subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. Take care, be blessed, and have a great day. Bye, you guys.